Hi, this is Brandy from IMBT, and I'm here to show you our digestive home care protocol. This protocol is designed for our clients who are going through our visceral manipulation and or any of our series of treatment, and or anyone that is experiencing just general pain and tension within the gut or the organ systems, congestion, constipation, lymphatic congestion, and or anyone that would like to just improve overall gut health. So there's a few things that I'll be using in our session today. So one is that I have a yoga block, and I go ahead and I put that under my sit bones so that I'm supported and elevated in a nice sitting, comfortable posture through this process. If sitting becomes a challenge for you, you can actually do this protocol lying down. You would just find a nice comfortable way to lie down where your knees can be bent so that you give your gut a little bit more room without creating so much tension by having the legs extended. The next thing is I will have either a large hot stone. I like working with hot stones and heat for myself and or for clients. If you don't have a hot stone, that's all right. The crossball is perfect, and or any kind of ball that you can that you would feel comfortable with getting oil on. You will be using it through the massage. And a ball is nice to have even if you do have any stones, just the ease of being able to provide massage and pressure. It's a good tool to have. And then I use our Body Ease. This is one of our products that we made for our digestive clients that were experiencing any kind of nausea, tension, any issues with detoxification or elimination, and or inflammation within the gut and or the organ system. So you will need some kind of an oil, and if you do not have our Body Ease oil, I would work with a thicker oil like a castor oil. Castor oil is really good at just moving overall lymphatic health and helps with elimination as well. So before we get started, I want to just take a moment to connect to the breath. The breath is really important in moving and aiding in digestion and elimination. So every time we take a deep breath, it's the breath that it continuously throughout the day is able to massage our organs. And so through the self-care massage, it's really important to be able to work with the breath, and the deeper that you can breathe, the deeper of a release that you'll find that you're able to get. So we're going to start with a few exercises just to open up the breath, and then we'll begin the massage. So as you find a nice comfortable seat, just want you, if you feel like closing your eyes, setting intention, just begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, you begin to find that as you begin to slow the breath, lengthen the breath, you may begin to find a pause or slowing down of your thoughts and the quality of your mind. Take a nice deep inhale and a full, complete exhale. Maybe adding a little sound on that exhale. A little bit of a sigh. And as you're connecting with your breath, begin to feel your body settle. You feel more relaxed, allowing the tension from the shoulders just roll off the back, maybe doing a few shoulder rolls. If you feel you're carrying any tension in the neck, maybe it's a good time to just release the neck. rolling from side to side, maintaining the depth of breath. And we're going to inhale the arms up, and exhale, we're going to turn to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale. Inhale, turn to the left. Exhale. And inhale, come back to center. And exhale, release the arms. Inhale, the arms above the head. And exhale, turning back to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, release the arms. And we're going to go through 2 more sets on your own. Feel the heat that's beginning to be generated in the body. Coming back to center, we're going to inhale. This time we're going to take the right hand behind the body and exhale, twisting to the right. Coming back to center. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, turning to the left. Inhale, coming back to center. We're going to go ahead and do each side one more time. And as you're doing this, you can work with your own breath. And yoga twists are one of the most beneficial poses for the organs, as it's like every time we twist, we're bringing out the organs, forcing out that stagnant blood supply, and then when we release and come back to center, we have a surge of fresh blood flow along with the oxygen and the breathing that we're doing that is able to return into those organs. So now let's begin the massage. So we'll start, there is a hand typed protocol as well for additional information or technique. We're going to start by skin rolling and pulling. And so basically you're just going to grab your skin and try and pull any areas that are tight or tense. And you're just kind of working and opening the skin. And this technique is really going to help with lymphatic congestion, and will allow ourselves to open the fascia so that we can go deeper and access the organs without so much fascial and surface tension. So, and skin rolling, you can pinch the skin between your fingers and kind of feed it through your thumbs and just kind of finger walk down the body. It may take a minute to get used to what this feels like. I do this all the time, every day, so it'll become more natural the more often that you do it. And you may find that some areas will be really tight or will be really hard to do the skin pulling. In those areas you can just spend more time. You want to do about 3 to 5 rounds of each of these techniques. I usually choose a a pretty constant number, just so that I can stay consistent through my session. Alright, so after you get some good skin rolling and pulling, the next technique and step is going to be to open the four corners. So the four corners that I'm talking about are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the two corners at the base of the ribs, these are going to help with opening the diaphragm, allowing ourselves to breathe deeper. And then we're going to work with also the inguinal area and the hips. And so allowing ourselves to release the tension in the hips will allow the belly to relax, to not hold so much tension, especially for females. Sometimes we tend to hold a little bit more in our hips, especially when we have tension around our menstrual cycles. We can experience more tension there. And so we'll just begin by opening the four corners. So I'm just going to go ahead and push my hands up under my rib cage or my fingers as deep as I can get. And I'm just going to take some deep breaths. And I'll stick with the same number 5 pretty consistently through the session. So 5 deep breaths here. I'm going to go to another spot under that rib cage as well. Sometimes you'll find areas that are tense or feel like a little bit of knotting. You can go ahead, and if you find those areas of tension, you feel you need to breathe longer into those areas to get a release, a full release, go ahead and do that. And then I'm just going to kind of massage under the rib cage, do a little bit of scooping. So I turn my hands backwards to do this technique and just kind of strip down with my thumbs. Maybe I will move this closer, actually, sorry. Let's see what happens. So I'm just going to be stripping down with my thumb. And then we're going to move to the other side and begin with the 5 deep breaths. Move to another spot. And then I'll just kind of strip as well. I'm not currently using much oil, or any oil actually. I'm still working with just releasing the fascia. And so that's going to be, sometimes it might feel like you're kind of ripping the skin. And the goal is to really just open the fascia and the skin so that we can go deeper. And then when we apply the oil, it'll feel more like a fluid massage. But for now, we're just really wanting to open the fascia. You might see your skin is starting to turn red just as you're beginning to open some of that fascial tension. And then we'll move to the hips. So I'm just going to find, and I'm going to press into my hips. So just kind of like in front of the hip bone, I just kind of just push right off of the crest. And then I just breathe deep. You can just work all along the base of that crest. You can stay in one spot, but you'll just do some deep breathing right off of that hip bone. Really pushing that breath into the lower organs. Pushing the lower belly out. And then I'm going to switch to the other side. then for just massaging, I just kind of start with my fingers as close to the base of the pelvis as I can get, right above the pubic bone, and I'm kind of just massaging and pulling up. So as we're working with the lower organs, we're able to access being able to work with the ovaries, the colon, the descending colon, and the ascending colon. So you're just really getting into those. On this right side, we have a little bit of the ileocecal valve. So you're not really, the goal isn't to work with the organ quite yet, but mostly just opening the fascia. But this is what you're loosening and the organs that it will benefit. And so then I'm going to work with either the stone or the lacrosse ball. And so I can kind of just maybe make a second round and just either do some small circles in the 4 quadrants, or just go ahead and press the ball into one of the 4 quadrants and do some deep breathing. So this is really opening on this right side, the stomach and spleen area, and we'll move to the left side. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera. The liver is on the right side, and on the left side we have the stomach and spleen. So I'm not used to staring at myself to do this protocol, but and then you move to the hips. Sometimes I like kind of bending over to get a little bit extra pressure just while I open up the hips. And then I'll move to the other side. And then we'll come back to center. And I'm going to go ahead and apply oil to the whole gut. And when we're working with the gut, we're always going to move in a clockwise position. So just get some nice oil on there. And then we're going to look at our gut, and we're going to visualize a large clock on the outer edges of the gut. And 12 o'clock will be the pubic bone, base of the pubic bone, and 6 o'clock will be at the base of the ribs. And so we're always working clockwise. This is a confusing spot, is we're actually going to work counterclockwise in our movements as far as how we are clearing the gut, but our motion will always be clockwise. And so if we go counterclockwise, we can cause constipation or blockages in the intestine, so we're always moving clockwise. And the reason that we start, this is the colon and descending colon, this is where elimination happens. And so if we started on this side, even though we were going clockwise, we could create bulking up here or in the intestines, and we don't want to create bulking. We want to clear out little by little as we're working around the gut, so that we have a nice fluid motion without creating too much bulking in any one particular part of the intestines. So we'll start just with this lower part of the colon. And so again, I'm working with maybe the number 5. So I'll do every motion 5 strokes in each area. The more you do this, you start to feel that you hold tension in particular areas. That might be an awareness for you that you could spend more time there. and we'll return there at the end of your protocol. So we'll just be moving in a downward clockward motion from 11 to 12 o'clock. And then we'll move from 10 to 11. And from 9 to 10. And about every 3 numbers or so, I have you clear the whole track. So we'll go all the way from 9 to 12. And we'll just clear all the way down about 5 times. And then you'll continue where you left off. So now we're going to be going from 8 to 9. And 7 to 8. And 6 to 7. And so you'll start to just get a nice scooping motion under that left rib cage. And again, take as little or as much time as you want. And then I'm going to clear 5 times all the way down from 6 to 9. And from 9 to 12. So we've got this nice half of a circle here that we're working with. And then I'm going to continue from 5 to 6. You might find too that this area right here we're working at the base of the ribs is a spot that most people, if you do experience gas or bloating, this might feel like sometimes the epicenter, and that's because air rises to the top when it's in the colon, not the small intestine, but the large intestine. And so this is the point of where the air would go to the top. So this area, you can sometimes spend a lot of time really trying to move the gas and expel it all the way down and through the colon. So I'm just working 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. I'm just kind of scooping all the way around. And again, since I've been working a few numbers, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around again. If you feel like there are hard spots as you're working through the intestine, this is where I grab either the ball and I can kind of just massage lightly, or I grab like a nice big stone and I can just breathe. If you find that there's areas that you feel need a little more work, feel free to just stop and pause and then continue when you feel that you've released the tension. So you'll just work all the way around, and then we'll continue with the massage from 2 to 3 and 1 to 2. Although we won't go from 12 to 1 because the valve leaving the small intestine doesn't quite go as deep into the pelvis as the colon as the bowels release and exit the body. So you can go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and just work all the way around. So you're working in an upward motion on the right side, across the top, and down the left. So you can do a few just nice deep clearing circles. This isn't in the protocol on the paper, but if you want to just spend some extra time, you can just kind of massage and just go around in a nice circle with the ball. So when you're done with clearing the large intestine, we're going to focus on massaging the small intestine next. So you imagine seeing a smaller clock, and we don't know which way the intestines are moving, and the small intestine doesn't have a clear tract that we can access from our fingertips and being able to identify which direction it's moving. So what you're going to do is you're going to do 5 circles around each number on the clock. So do 5 circles around 12 o'clock. Oops, 12 o'clock's the base. 5 circles on 11. 5 circles at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you're just working around the belly button. Working your way up to 6 o'clock. And you'll find that oftentimes in the small intestine you'll find little hard spots. This can either be matter that's stuck to the sides of the small intestinal wall. If you deal with constipation, you may find that it feels like there's just a lot of knotting tension. You might spend a little more time here. If you do feel a lot of hard matter, a lot of times one of the most common things with the small intestine is that we find that either the body's not digesting protein very well, so that could be from not chewing the food well enough. This is the first place to check, making sure that you're chewing your food really well. If you're someone that drinks protein shakes, making sure that you're mixing the saliva. Saliva is one of the first places or eating and chewing is one of the first places that digestion happens, so it's really important to mix saliva with your food. So yogurt, protein shakes, even soft foods really need the benefit of mixing saliva with them. So rather than chugging it, allowing yourself to slow down and be able to digest the proteins that your body is taking in, and or potentially sometimes people get a lot of benefit from adding digestive enzymes to really help with the protein, breaking down proteins and absorption. So you'll just continue, and when you have worked through the small intestine, you can kind of just feel for any hard spots at the end. And when you feel like you're complete, you can take and make a few swipes from the ileocecal valve into the large intestine, and then just go ahead and clear one more time. And so that's it for the digestive care protocol. And you can take, again, as little or as much time as you would like with that protocol. If you're done and you want to just, breathe into the spots that are tense, it would be a good time to just put some pressure and just take some time to do some deep breathing on your own. And you could finish with some twists if you would like. And as you're coming to a completion with this, you have a nice amount of castor oil applied on the body. So it would be a good time to take a hot bath and just allow the heat to let that castor oil absorb into the body, and or apply a castor oil pack. We have another video you can find on our website on how to use a castor oil pack and the benefits. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you have any feedback, let me know. If you have questions, you can give me an email. All right, enjoy your digestive self-care massage.